Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
We're diving deep today into something pretty significant that happened recently.
Uh-huh.
That big demonstration by the Mujahedin Khalq, the MEK, in Brussels.
Yeah, in Belgium, Saturday, September 6th. Big news.
Exactly. And it wasn't just, another protest. People are calling it historical.
Mm-hmm.
But it stirred up a lot of controversy, a lot of questions, some really wild claims, too.
Oh, absolutely. Always does with this group and the regime.
So our mission, really, is to cut through the noise.
Yep.
Try and figure out what actually happened, what it means, and, get the facts straight from the sources you've pulled together for us.
Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is how this whole thing becomes a window into resilience, right?
Yeah.
And political strategy and just the power of people showing up.
On a very complex stage.
It's a very complex geopolitical stage, exactly. Lots of layers to peel back, not just what happened, but why it matters.
Totally. So let's start with the basics. The event itself. It wasn't small. The scale got everyone's attention. Reports are, 10,000 people?
At least 10,000. Some sources even mention maybe 100,000.
Still huge. And where it happened is key, too,
Yeah.
right? Atomium Square in Brussels.
Yeah, I mean, Brussels, the political heart of Europe, NATO's there, the EU.
It sends a message just being there.
Definitely. And the atomium itself, that structure.
It's visually striking, isn't it?
It really is. 9 big spheres, like an iron atom blown up huge.
165 billion times larger, the sources said.
Yeah, something like that. And it was built as a symbol for, peaceful nuclear energy human progress.
Which is,
Yeah.
wow, considering the whole deadlock with the Iranian regime over its nuclear program.
Exactly. So you have this demonstration for freedom, for a different kind of Iran happening right there. It's a powerful contrast.
And it wasn't a quick thing either. They were there for hours.
About 6 hours, yeah. A continuous presence, making their point in that very symbolic spot.
And connecting this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The timing wasn't random, was it?
Not at all. The sources are clear. This marked the MEK's 60th anniversary.
60 years. That's why they're calling it a diamond anniversary.
Exactly. And that diamond analogy, it's kind of perfect, isn't it?
How so?
Well, diamonds form under intense pressure. They endure for ages, and they come out strong, valuable.
Okay, I see that.
The sources describe the MEK as having passed through fires. Like Ibrahim, Moses in the stories.
Enduring bombs.
Missiles, gallows, conspiracies, assassinations, decades of it.
So this rally was like a testament to that survival.
Pretty much. A living rebuttal, you could say, to all the propaganda that claims they're finished or have no support. It visually disproved those narratives.
Okay, so that brings us to where it gets really interesting. The controversies.
Right. Because an event like this, challenging the Iranian regime, it's bound to stir things up.
And the regime and its media didn't wait long to hit back with accusations.
Standard playbook, really.
Let's tackle some of the main ones the sources mention.
Okay. It's important to break these down, because often the accusations tell you more about who's making them.
First up, the classic paid participants.
Yes. The regime claimed the MEK got money, like $5 million from Israel for this specific rally.
And that they work for Mossad, train in Israel, killed scientists, all that stuff.
Yeah, Tehran Times, Fars News, they were pushing these lines hard around the time of the rally.
So what's the rebuttal from the MEK side, according to the sources?
Well, first, they point out the regime's own system runs on bribes and self-interest.
So they just assume everyone else operates the same way.
That's the argument they project. They can't imagine people doing something, especially something risky, voluntarily.
And the money aspect, does the math even work?
Not even close. I mean, think about it. Paying people, many educated professionals,
Right.
for travel, time off work, participation for days, minimum wage alone, say $15, $21 an hour.
Plus travel, hotels.
Exactly. That alleged $5 million. It wouldn't even begin to cover it. You'd need, like the source said, more money than a forest of trees with money for leaves.
That's a vivid image.
And crucially, people were taking huge risks. There were threats going around, SMS, emails.
Threatening execution.
Yeah, serious threats. People aren't doing that for a bit of cash.
So where does the funding come from, according to the MEK sources?
Voluntary contributions. There's something called Hamyari Samaya Azadi, supporter donations.
Okay.
Plus monthly support from members who work, and many people just paying their own way, even helping others get there.
So financial independence is key for them.
Absolutely. It lets them maintain their stance even when geopolitics gets messy, like with the Israel-Hamas situation. They don't have to bend to outside funders.
Okay, so the paid participant thing seems pretty shaky when you look closer.
Very shaky.
What are the other claim? The one about lack of youth support,
Mm-hmm.
dismissing young people there is just like family members tagging along.
Right. Another way to try and diminish their social base.
But what did the sources actually observe at the rally?
Lots of witness accounts confirmed a really significant youth presence. Energetic, involved.
So the rally kind of countered that narrative directly.
Visually, yes. It showed young people actively choosing to be there.
And why? What's the motivation for these young people, often successful ones, according to the sources?
They're looking for something authentic. A clean vessel is the phrase used.
Meaning
They reject the corruption they associate with the old regime, the Shah, and the current one, the Sheikh.
they want something different.
Exactly. A path based on freedom, human dignity. And they make this choice consciously, knowing the risks, the sacrifices.
So these aren't just passive attendees.
Not at all. They show the MEK is dynamic looking forward. It shows deep roots and inspires those resistance units inside Iran.
Okay, then there's that really dark one,
Mm-hmm.
the self-staged violence accusation.
Yeah, that was particularly nasty. Reports before the rally.
Right, News Agency claiming the MEK planned a controlled explosion to blame on Iran.
Mm-hmm. To get sympathy, pressure the EU.
What's the counter to that?
History. The sources immediately point back to 2018, the Villepinte plot near Paris.
Where regime agents were caught trying to bomb an MEK rally.
Precisely. They planned to bomb it and then blame the MEK. They even had a plan to kill one of their own infiltrators to make the story stick.
That all came out in court.
Yeah, court proceedings, agent confessions. So this accusation, it's pure projection of the regime's own tactics. They're accusing the MEK of doing what they themselves actually tried to do.
Wow. Okay. And the last narrative we need to touch on, the Ayatollah BBC one.
Right. This refers to how some media, like the BBC apparently, framed the rally.
As the MEK just competing with Shah loyalists for power?
Yeah, presenting it like two equal factions fighting over who gets to rule next.
What do the MEK sources say about that framing?
They basically dismissed the Shah loyalists as not really a significant political force, lacking a base, lacking a plan, mocked even by former supporters, apparently.
And the MEK's position.
Is consistent. They say they aren't rivals for power with anyone. They advocate for the power of the people.
And the leadership style reflects that.
That's the point made. Maryam Rajavi, for example, consistently uses we, our resistance, avoids I unless it's personal. It's about the collective.
So the criticism of that BBC framing is that it creates a false equivalence.
Exactly. Giving artificial breath to dead bodies, as one source put it, inflating one side to diminish the other rather than reflecting the actual situation on the ground.
Okay, so we've unpacked the main controversies. Now let's shift gears. What were the actual achievements of this rally, beyond just gathering a large crowd?
Right, the impact. And it was significant both symbolically and tangibly.
Let's start with something striking. Maryam Rajavi's presence. That was unexpected.
Hugely unexpected. The sources say there was real excitement, surprise, when it was announced she was physically there.
Because of the risk.
Absolutely. She's been the target of multiple terrorist plots in Europe. Her being there was a direct defiance of those threats.
And significant politically.
Massively. It was a major public rally appearance for her. Since the MEK was delisted as a terrorist group, it showed leadership, cohesion.
Especially from a woman-led movement after 60 years of struggle.
Exactly. It sends a powerful message. They aren't hiding. They confront the dangers.
And it wasn't just her. The international support was pretty high profile, too.
Oh, definitely. You had Mike Pence, former U.S. VP.
John Bercow, former UK speaker.
Guy Verhofstadt, former Belgian PM Patrick Kennedy.
And Dr. Vidal Quadras, who was actually attacked for his support.
Right. Him being there was incredibly brave. Plus, many other European MPs. These aren't just random names.
What were some key messages from, say, Pence or Verhofstadt?
Pence really hammered home that the MEK is stronger, more inspiring, more powerful than ever.
And that the real threat to Tehran isn't external forces, but
the people of Iran and this resistance. He called for a secular, democratic, non-nuclear Iran.
I'm Verhofstadt.
He condemned the failed policy of appeasement, arguing it just emboldened the regime.
And he called for a new EU policy.
Yeah, 3 pillars. Designate the IRGC as terrorists, increase sanctions, and engage in structured dialogue with the opposition based on Rahavi's 10-point plan.
So the presence of these figures, what does it achieve practically?
It boosts legitimacy internationally, big time.
Puts more pressure on the regime.
Definitely. Gives hope to people inside Iran, and it influences policy debates in the West.
These figures are staking their reputations.
And sometimes their safety, like Dr. Quadra's. It shows deep conviction.
Okay, this raises a question then. Beyond the symbolism, the endorsements, did the rally lead to any immediate, tangible geopolitical results? Can we point to some concrete?
It seems so, yes. The sources draw a direct line between the rally and a major policy shift just one day later.
What happened?
The Iranian regime signed an agreement with the IAEA and the 3 European countries on the nuclear issue.
Wow, and the sources link this directly to the rally.
They do, characterizing it as the regime drinking the atomic poison chalice.
Why would they do that? Because of the rally.
The argument is yes. Not because of external pressure primarily, but feel of internal unrest.
Fear of their own people.
Exactly. There's that quote from former President Raisi. Our fear is not of snapback. Our fear is of internal disturbances.
So the Brussels rally, this huge show of opposition strength,
sent tremors through Khamenei's existence, as one source put it. It made them blink, made them concede something to try and dampen potential unrest at home.
That's a powerful connection. So it wasn't just for an external audience, it hit home.
Deeply. Which leads to the broader domestic impact inside Iran.
Right. What was that?
Well, the rally wasn't just about the 60th anniversary. It tied into other key dates.
Like the 1981 uprising, the 88 massacre.
The 2022 Zina Amini uprising. It connected all those struggles.
Showing a continuous thread of resistance.
Yes, and demonstrating a powerful, organized opposition. The sources say this directly inspired those rebellious units inside Iran.
The ones carrying out actions against the regime.
They're now acting more in unison, building towards what the MEK terms the Army of Liberation.
So the regime's fear of internal disturbances is justified.
It seems so. They're apparently worried now that any large gathering, even a football match or concert, could just ignite.
Because the discontent is that widespread.
That's the implication. People are waiting for an excuse.
And Rahavi's words from the rally spoke to that.
Directly. Things like, wherever you are, you will be a rebel for freedom. And warning the mullahs that executions won't stop the volcano of uprising.
It suggests a movement that feels deeply connected to the mood inside the country.
Yeah, resonating with that simmering anger and desire for change.
So, bringing this all together, what does this mean for you, our listener, taking all this in?
Well, it shows this Brussels rally was much more than just a protest, wasn't it?
Right. It became a symbol, resilience, international backing, maybe even a catalyst for actual change.
Yeah, and this deep dive hopefully has shed some light on the motivations behind the spin, the accusations.
And also the motivations behind the support, the endurance.
And maybe it leaves you with a final thought to chew on. How does that diamond-like endurance we talked about, forged over decades of intense pressure, how does that change how we think about success in a fight for freedom?
Especially against such entrenched opposition, such powerful narratives.
Exactly. It makes you think about the long game, about what internal strength and values really mean when you're up against constant attack. How does that kind of resilience measure success?